Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are back with something that is extremely cool because over the years I have had the pleasure of working with many different Dinotubers and bringing you guys products from numerous different Dinotubers that they were planning on selling and everything like that. And today I get to do that yet again, but this time with a Dinotuber I have not had the pleasure of promoting for previously. He's a friend of mine. We have a model from SpinoDude. That's actually pretty crazy to think that now SpinoDude is releasing models as well. But actually, it's not just SpinoDude. We also have another sculptor slash YouTuber here, Dinotuber, whatever you want to call it, that is at play because this is also created partially by Blue Fury Designs, who I have promoted in news videos in the past and shown you guys a few incredible models from. So straight out of the gate, I'm really excited to have a model, you know, partially from SpinoDude and of course partially from Blue Fury Designs. And what we have is a Tupandactylus, and a gorgeous one at that. Now basically what this is a model that was sculpted and printed by Blue Fury Designs and painted by SpinoDude. So that's how we are collaborating the two together here and creating one incredible model. I believe this is the first model in a series of models that they will be releasing. And to make these models even more special, something to keep in mind is the fact that each and every one of the models released, they are all unique because every single one is a one-of-a-kind. They are not going to repeat any of the paint schemes as far as I'm aware. I believe they are just going to continue to give new paint schemes for each and every release. And you can see this thing is absolutely beautiful when it comes to a Tupandactylus, a species of pterosaur we do not get very many models of. On top of this incredible model, there's also some art that is included, which you can see here. And my camera, for some reason, was not focusing on correctly, but you can see the art is gorgeous, really beautiful looking color scheme on that version of the Tupandactylus as well. And to show you a little more, we'll move our Tupandactylus here out of the way for a moment, and you can see this little sheet of paper that was included here. It says, "Hey Andy, thanks so much for showcasing the first model collaboration between myself and Blue Fury Designs. The concept art and painting for this Tupandactylus was done by me with sculpting and 3D printing by Blue Fury. Each model that's painted has a one-of-a-kind color scheme, including yours, which is something I just mentioned. And speaking of the colors, all of the color schemes in this batch had colors based off of modern-day birds with color concepts designed by Blue Fury, and you can see the other variations as well as what they were based on here. Some pretty nice ducks apparently that were used as inspiration, which is pretty cool considering I actually have ducks and raised ducks. But you can see again, they all look incredible here. I think each and every one looks so natural for the species of pterosaur, and I'm sure each and every one is going to be a killer version of this Tupandactylus. And as you can see down here, the listings for the pterosaurs will go live to coincide with the release of the video here. And he actually posts repaints on there as well that you can purchase. And I have seen numerous of them, and I can't even begin to tell you the amount of times that I sat there debating for a while if I should grab one or not, because he always does post amazing repaints, and I consistently am tempted to grab them, but I've always got so many things that I'm trying to spring for to review on the channel that I consistently was always like, all right, I'll wait until this day and see if it's there, or I'll wait until this day and see if it's there, and then I never end up getting there. But now I luckily have a model painted by him regardless, again a totally original pterosaur model from Blue Fury and SpinoDude. So let's go ahead and jump straight to a closer look at this and we'll check it out from there. So starting up here at the head sculpt of our Tupandactylus, you can see again straight away, of course, we've got the really nice, very flashy colors that we were speaking of earlier, and I think they did a great job here. SpinoDude did a great job of applying them to the model, especially up here in the beak specifically. Of course, I love the flashy colors of the pterosaur as a whole, but I love the way that he's painted the beak with the oranges as well as a darker tone that seems to have been applied in almost like a wash-like kind of fashion or a dry brushing, because I think it just helps to give the beak almost like a little bit of a dirty sort of like weathered appearance. And I really think that was a nice touch, definitely adding a nice dose of realism to the pterosaur as a whole. But as I turn it and let the light hit it, you can definitely see how the light is bringing out all of the detail. Of course, very similar, very reminiscent to what you would see on the beak, I would imagine, of a pterosaur. Certainly reminiscent to what you would see on the beak of a modern-day bird. Again, that very much so, same style of texturing and everything, and fine detail. You can also see the nostrils are sculpted out. They are painted with a darker tone, and there is a bit of a gloss coat in there, which is a nice touch as well. Again, yet another dose of realism for the pterosaur. As we lead up here into the crest, we've got a very nice area of flashiness with a reddish tone, and then you have the black patterning through, kind of similar to, we have like a striping effect here moving up through the beak, and then same sort of thing, but obviously facing in a different direction as you lead up into the crest of the pterosaur. And when it comes to a Tupandactylus, one of the things I would think that you would want is some nice flashiness in that massive crest, and they did a great job. SpinoDude did a great job of applying that to the pterosaur. And just like we see in the beak, you can see he's added some darker tones up here in the crest as well to continue to give it that kind of little bit of a weathered, more realistic look. As you move down into the face of the pterosaur, we do have a dark blue that kind of runs through. We've also got a lighter blue that moves around. That as well is very nicely applied, and within those bluish tones you can see the pycnofibers starting to pick up, and of course you see that as you move back into the white areas as well. And just like with the other areas of the figure, you can see that there is a darker tone that's been applied to the whites of the pterosaur, which helps to again add just a little bit more depth, a little bit more realism to the overall color scheme and paint application. Now, like I said, each one of these are unique, so the one that you would get isn't going to look like this, but I do want to go over the paint scheme regardless to at least give you guys an idea of how good SpinoDude is at painting, and I can say he definitely is very good at it. And you can see the eyes painted as well with a nice reddish tone, given a black pupil, also sports a nice gloss coat, which you can see shining right there. As you continue to move down here, further into the neck of our pterosaur, you can see the white disappears as we have a nice brown ring that kind of circles around the neck and then leads up through the back of the neck, and you can continue to again see how nice the pycnofibers look on the pterosaur. Moving down into the body, the black then takes over basically for the primary body color. We continue to have the pycnofibers, which look like they've maybe increased in size a bit. Moving into the back of the pterosaur, you can kind of see they just look a bit larger here. You can also see some impressive size up here in the back, moving along the spinal column, the shoulder area of our pterosaur as well. Definitely helping to make it look like it's a pretty strong pterosaur. More of that as you move down into the wing here. You can kind of see some muscle definition right here leading down. We do transition from the black to a dark variation of a gray, moving down along the arm area here of the wing, and you can see the fingers are sculpted really nicely. We've got a nice glossy black as well for the nails, and then as you lead out into the wing itself, you can see we've got a lighter variation of a gray out here, also kind of meshing with a darker variation of a gray, kind of allowing both of those tones to shine through. And you can see the overall texturing to the skin does look pretty nice, just like we saw elsewhere on the pterosaur. As you lead back, you can see again the thigh is very nicely sculpted. You can kind of make out not only some muscle definition, but also the hip right there as well. And then just like we saw up there on the wings, as you lead down, we transition to a dark variation of a gray down into the foot. You can see again the toes are sculpted nicely, nails painted again with that nice glossy black. And then as we lead back up, we've got a little tail poking out here on the back end of our pterosaur, more of that light gray following along here on the skin back behind the rear leg. And then you can see the opposing side is going to look pretty much the same. Our pterosaur is in a standing position, so it's not going to have any differences over here as far as the sculpt goes compared to the other side, because for the most part it's in pretty close to the same position. This left wing is just back a little bit further, which you can see there with the upper part of the wing kind of leading up. You can see it's back a little further compared to the opposing side. There is a slight turn in the head to the pterosaur as well, so you can see it does have an ever so slight right turn, but not enough that it's going to make a drastic difference on this side compared to the initial side. But you can yet again see that the paintwork is very nice and precise, very much so resembling what we had seen on the initial side. And again, the overall pterosaur just looks gorgeous no matter where you look at it. Even from the underside, you can see we still have, again, the same style of paintwork as well as the same style of detailing. You can see really nice like wrinkling in the skin of the wing here on the underside as well, since it's folded up with the pterosaur standing. So overall, that is an absolutely epic Tupandactylus, and I'm so excited to be able to bring you guys this video to show this off, and hopefully you guys will grab these as they go up, because considering each one is a one of a kind and there's only going to be more made if there's interest in them, I would recommend checking those listings out immediately and grabbing the Tupandactylus that you want right away before you miss out. But again, absolutely incredible addition to my collection, that is for sure. Another thing that is nice for this pterosaur is it was designed really nicely. So you can see how it's kind of standing in a nice natural position, but a lot of the time when you get standing pterosaurs, they'll usually have the wings kind of spread out a little bit further to help it balance, whereas their pterosaur, their Tupandactylus, has the wings kind of held into the body. So you might look at that and think, well, maybe it has some stability issues, but it really does not. You can see it stands really nicely, and even when I kind of pull it forward, it sort of just falls right back into place. So very nice balance on the pterosaur as well, on top of the incredible sculpt and paint. So as far as the size goes, you're not going to find much in the way of like a length for the pterosaur. We'll go straight for the height. You are looking at a hair under 6 inches or a little bit over 15 centimeters. And if we do go for a length, I guess we'll go from like the foot to the tip of the beak. Well, actually, I guess there's a bit more length than I expected. You're looking at around 5 inches or a little bit over 12.5 centimeters for a size comparison. Of course, we have our usual review comparison suspects, as we have Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect A Human Being next to our Tupandactylus from SpinoDude and Blue Fury Designs. And you can see it does have a pretty decent size to it, but it's not huge. It's definitely not small, but not gigantic either. I would say it's a nice kind of medium size range for a pterosaur. But actually, to give you a better idea of the size, here is the Collect A Pteranodon Sternbergi next to our Tupandactylus, and you can see these two are very similar in size. This is, again, not one of the deluxe versions of the pterosaurs that Collect A releases. This is more of like your standard size range, so that does help to give you, I think, an idea of the size. It would also be very similar in size, or fairly similar in size at least, to the Safari LTD Pteranodon. If I had that one out and available, I would definitely compare that as well. But when it comes to a standing pterosaur, I think that this comparison is probably one of the best that I can give you. We've also got a comparison next to the Mattel Geosternbergia, the Hammond Collection version, and obviously, even though the wingspan is massive on the Mattel Pterosaur, you can see these as well are kind of similar in size when it comes to overall body mass. So a little bit, well, it just fell forward, but a little bit bigger, I think, for the Hammond Collection version. But that does help to give you, again, I think, an idea of the size of the pterosaur, showing you that it's not gigantic, but it's not small either. And just to give you one final idea with some more totally random figures, we have the Schleich Diabloceratops, the Safari LTD Utyrannus, and Collect A Deluxe Dimetrodon, who you almost can't even see the head of at all, next to our Tupandactylus. And obviously, our pterosaur is still very nicely sized, even next to these figures. It's a bit larger than pretty much everything we have here. The Dimetrodon maybe is a bit larger in overall body mass, but what I really like about this pterosaur is it's a very nice convenient size. You know, if you happen to have like a work desk or somewhere that you want to have like a really cool model sit on, this pterosaur would be a great option because it's extremely highly detailed, beautifully painted, and again, like I said before, every paint job is an individual unique paint job, so that makes it even more special. But it's also nicely sized to the point where it's not going to be getting in the way. It'll take a very little space in your area, but still stand out as an overall gorgeous version of a Tupandactylus. So SpinoDude and Blue Fury Designs have definitely got themselves a winner on their hands, if you ask me. I think this is another great release and definitely another great version of the Tupandactylus in a collecting community like this where we actually have very few models to represent this species. It is nice to have one like this, and not only one like this, but one so beautiful. Also, it's very cool to have one that, again, is each and every one is an individual, unique piece. So that makes each and every version of this pterosaur more special than your average model would be, because it's not like you have the same paint job as your friend. Everybody's going to have their own unique version of this pterosaur if you order one. And that, if you ask me, is incredibly special. It's also really cool to have two different artists at play here. Again, when it comes to Blue Fury Designs, if you've seen any of the news videos that I put up promoting the work of Blue Fury, she does amazing work, like absolutely incredible models on her Etsy shop as well, which I highly recommend checking out. But again, on the other side of the spectrum here, we have SpinoDude helping to release his very first model as well, which again is the paint job has been done by SpinoDude, and I think he's done a great job on the paint job as a whole. I think everything looks very nice and natural. He's done a good job of applying like various tones of color and just adding depth to the overall coloration of the pterosaur, and that helps to bring it to life, I think, in a much more realistic way. So on top of an incredible sculpt, a very highly detailed sculpt, we've got an incredible and very highly detailed paint job. But overall, I honestly cannot stress enough how much, if you are interested in this, you need to grab one right now, because like I said, they are all unique. You want to grab whatever one you want right away before it sells out, because I can assure you it's not going to come back. And if they do all sell out again and you want one, make sure you let me know in the comment section so SpinoDude and Blue Fury can see that, and they'll know that there is a demand for more, and then they'll get to work on more. And of course, once more are available, I will let you guys know here on Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, so you can grab one for yourself. But like I said, I will include links in the description to all of the social media accounts, as well as, of course, the Etsy shops from Blue Fury, but of course, specifically from SpinoDude, which is, I believe, where this one will be available on SpinoDudes Etsy shop. So I'll have that, the very first link in the description will be to SpinoDudes Etsy shop, where you can purchase these incredible pterosaurs. So make sure you do that, and of course, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.